Hi, I'm David Kern. I'm a painter and I'd like to welcome you to this video.
So I thought I'd say a little bit about, what I found out about Gauguin, right? And him and his times, because I started off and I thought, well, he's the guy who painted the South Pacific, and in fact, I've got a book over there. There's a book out somewhere, right, where just all it is about Gauguin's work in the South Pacific, right? But I think that kind of missed the point of him as an artist, because a lot of the things he did were formed before he went to the South Seas, and we've all heard of his escapades with Van Gogh, right? So that there's a kind of circulus history there with other artists that he was involved in, and some of that was good, some of that wasn't. But why is he an important artist, right? And that's I think that's what's good to take out of whatever he did in his life. That's what comes through to us now, and he was central to one of the main innovations that followed Impressionism, right? So along with others, he's what you would call a post-impressionist, but with a particular flavor that kind of flowed through into modern art and the idea of modernism that came out of those times, right? Because if you look at Gauguin's approach to his work, I've just done this quick sketch of one of his Breton peasant girls. Actually, a little sketch from one of the sketches that he did. This girl here that found her way into one of his earlier paintings here. Delightful. I mean, I think this is just a delightful painting of three Breton girls dancing, right? But the style is quite different than things that were seen before, and I think that's what became termed the synthetists, which was taking some elements of reality, but some elements of design and some elements of ideas, and putting them all together in paintings. So, and you can see that one element of that is that the work is very linear, right? So it's line based, and then blocks of color are put in around this framework for the image. And actually, prior to, I think, being called synthetists, there was a movement called, I think it's, I might mangle this, Cloistonism. Cloistonism, right?
Like
enameling, and that's what it is. It's from enameling, right? Where sections were treated and then heated and enameled in blocks. So they took this idea of enameling into paint, and that was a kind of major change from other things that were going on. And another part of it was painting from ideas rather than reality. There was the idea that there was some element of reality was important, but it was the artist's idea that was important, and you didn't have to follow reality. Was something that was important to him, right? And that was fundamentally new, right? I mean, we might see that, as well, it's the inner artist coming out and everything. All that was new in those days. And actually, that's one of the things he argued with Van Gogh about, right? Because Van Gogh was adamant that you needed to paint from reality. He always painted from a model. He always painted from life. And the idea of actually constructing an image without reality, just although there are some elements there, but actually sort of doing it sort of separately in the studio was something that was fundamentally different. So we fundamentally get these things from Gauguin. Before he went to the South Seas. So the painting of ideas, the deconstruction of things into line and blocks and design are all things that are fundamentally, things that he gave us, and actually gave us more than any other artist, although there were others in the same sort of family, right? One important one, perhaps I'll just talk about here is this is one Jacob wrestling the angel. Now I'm not actually sort of too familiar with that story, but there you are. Here it is. It's this one here, right? But so here we've got some young Breton girls in their traditional garb, sort of within the background, Jacob wrestling the angel, and then you've got this tree branch separating them. And this bright, so you got this. So I'll leave this open, right? You've got this tree branch separating the Breton girls in the foreground, with Jacob wrestling the angel in the background, and this bright red, which is completely unrealistic, right? Kind of showing the strength of their feeling or their belief, with the separation of reality and ideas. This is painting of ideas. This is fundamentally something that really wasn't sort of in the vocabulary before Gauguin, right? So these there's one of his self-portraits here as well. Shows he could get a kind of natural likeness as a if you see any period photos of him, that's what he looked like. So but again, there's a crucifixion figure in the background there. So sort of again, there's a lot more to it than just a simple self-portrait. So I think this period where he was working with other artists in France before he went to the South Seas, a lot of the things that we see in Gauguin from his South Seas work was already cemented, and he did indeed take some things further when he got there, and he came back. He had a turbulent life and all, and sort of was a quite, I say, complicated character. But this period before he went to the South Seas sort of can tell us a lot about what then became modern art.